studio focuses on differing opinions about inclusion in an educational setting. The opinions presented do not reflect our own personal views. We encourage you to form your own ideas about inclusion.
Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. You are tuned in to the talk show. Thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to be talking about inclusion. For those of you who are less informed about inclusion, we turn to Megan to tell us exactly what it is.
Yes, thank you, Mariah. By definition, inclusion is a practice of educating a child with special needs in a setting with the general education students. There are many differences in opinions on the subject, and we encourage you to form your own ideas.
In my opinion, the inclusion practices neither benefit special education students or regular education students. The school systems simply are just not built to handle the extra stresses that go along with, changing the curriculum to fit both the different kinds of students.
I totally agree.
I don't know, I beg to differ. Inclusion benefits both the special education students and the general education students. The more experience general education students have with the special education students, the more they know what to expect and what type of behavior is going to go on in the classroom. And the more experience that they have with those children, the more they take that success as their own. When they see them do something good, they're proud of them.
Though it benefits the social aspect of the classroom, inclusion takes away from the one-on-one attention that special education students need on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it hinders the regular education students from learning at a regular pace because the special education students cannot learn at such a rate.
Well, I would have to disagree. Inclusion is a positive thing for both general education students and special education students. Special education students are impacted for the future and the present right now. They are a part of a regular class just like in society. Inclusion helps general education students become more open and accepting. People with emotional and cognitive impairments will begin to feel a part of something.
I completely agree. I think that we just need to have more of a community-based classroom, and we need to be more open to allowing people to join that aren't necessarily always considered normal.
Obviously they're going to be a part of our community and a part of our society, but not in the same way that people with regular intelligence have. They're just not going to be contributing the same. So I think we need to treat them differently because they need extra attention. Exactly. I also really think that we're going to hinder regular education by doing this. Our schools are already behind other industrialized countries.
I don't know. I just think that we definitely need to create communities of our schools. The more that they get excited about those students succeeding, the more it'll raise the level of perceived achievement in the school overall.
I can see that though.
Now, today in the studio, we'll be talking with Sarah, who's a loving parent that has a child in both a regular education classroom and a special education classroom. Let's see what she has.
This is Sarah Bro here today with us in our studio. Sarah, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So Sarah, can you tell me a little bit about your family life?
Yeah, I have two children, one's 5 and one's 8. The 8-year-old has a disability. He has ADHD. And I have a 5-year-old who's in the general education setting. I understand both sides of the inclusion argument. However, I want both my children to be included in the same activities. I don't agree with separating them.
Do you feel like your special needs child is receiving an adequate education in the general education classroom?
I sometimes feel that he isn't, but when I go and talk to the teacher and express my concerns, she immediately adapts to all our needs.
Do you feel like your child in the regular education is hindered by special education students that may disrupt their learning?
Absolutely not. Regular education students need more life experiences, and they get that when they have inclusion practiced in their classroom.
Thank you so much for your time, Sarah. We really appreciate it. It's been great to learn about you and your family. Now back to the girls in the studio.
Thank you so much, Ashley and Sarah, for giving us your input. You see, guys, sometimes the inclusion practice really does work. I think that if teachers and parents are willing to be flexible about situations, then it actually will work out.
Just because it works for some students, though, doesn't mean it works for all.
That is true. Everyone's different, and everyone just has to figure out what's right for them.
Well, on that note, that's all the time we have for today. Join us tomorrow as we discuss the topic of childhood obesity.